welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Mark Woodburn, we see you on the camera there. Thank you for joining us tonight here on The Factor Uncensored. We have a great show planned, and we want to thank all of our guests for joining us tonight. Now to our top story. Our attention is still on the impeachment trial of suspended Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. The alleged company he keeps is also at the center of the trial. In addition to the allegations of bribery, disregarding his official duty, making false statements, and abusing the public trust, the AG has been dealing with claims of an extramarital affair, which may be at the heart of his impeachment trial as well. Here's what's being floated at the trial. AG Paxton provided help and assistance to Austin real estate investor Nate Paul in exchange for allegedly helping the Attorney General remodel his home and give Paxton's mistress a job in Paul's company. Joining us now here on The Factor Uncensored for this conversation, University of Houston downtown professor Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld and attorney Eric Dick. Glad to have you all back for a second night. We started yesterday, now we're talking about tonight. So this has become a little salacious, right, Eric?
Well, it's exciting. I mean, yesterday wasn't nearly as entertaining as today. You got a little excitement going on with allegations of, affair. You have all these different kind of factors going on. You also have, allegations that, the former second in command was trying to kind of take over the office.
He actually wrote a memo to the Attorney General saying, "Come clean about all of this."
He did, and they took the Attorney General's name off of, the memo, and they kind of had a coup. And then there was someone that he was trying to have the Attorney General hire that he ended up hiring himself to represent him, and was currently representing him. There's a lot there from both sides. It's basically two narratives going down. One is that what Tony Busby is selling is this is a big, juicy, nothing burger. Rusty Hardin is selling, well, no, Ken Paxton, there's a slow creep of corruption, and Ken Paxton, was being basically bribed by sex, and rock and roll, and everything bad. That's kind of that you have a tale of two stories, and we're going to see really which one kind of sticks and who they go with.
Professor, let's hear from you, your thoughts on what we have heard today. And keep in mind, this is not, and so many people are saying it's political. It could be political on one spectrum, but it's not Democrat versus Republicans, because it's the Republicans who came after AG Ken Paxton after the settlements came in, and he had to settle with his own employees, whistleblowers, for $3 million plus.
But yeah, over $3.3 million. So that $300,000 isn't much in the media world, but for teachers, that's a lifetime of pay. So that extra $300,000 matters. And this is part of the salaciousness that Eric is mentioning, where we know that this is going to be tried by senators, but senators are people too, and they have constituents to answer to. And so while we might
will that weigh heavily in their decision? Will it be their decision alone, or they will be listening to their constituents out there, the voters?
They've got to look at re-election, and I know we oftentimes speak about this poverty of public service in the state of Texas, which is a little bit of a lie in and of itself, right? That $7,200 a year doesn't account for per diems. It doesn't account for business travel paid for by the likes of the Pauls. Nate's covering somebody's junket to Japan or Paris to look at a business deal. It doesn't cover the retirement plan, which is based on the state district judge retirement. So if you serve 8 years, it's as if you worked 8 years at $158,000 a year, right? So it's not like you worked for $7,200. There's a check at the end of this. And these people are looking at these things and the benefits of their votes and their policies, and they're saying, yeah, we understand, a lot of them are lawyers, the mens rea, we understand the intent, but they're looking more at the journalistic aspect that you might look at, the who, what, where, when, and in this case today, why? Why would you jeopardize this position, the power, the $78,000 a year of chauffeured travel and security detail? Why would you jeopardize it? For, I'm not going to say that because that's your show, but for the ladies. I'll use the L word and so with Pete. So instead of those ideas of what is the underlying legal reason, we understand that many of these things are documented. We referenced last night the Collin County case of the pen. That was on camera. He did not come clean until that was pointed out. The video footage was revealed. It wasn't this was your pen, here you go. It was, no, I don't know anything about it. Oh, there's video footage. We have these things documented. So then we've got to establish motive. We've got to establish why, because the intent is going to reveal itself.
Now, what we've heard from Paxton's attorney, Tony Busby, is, Eric, there's nothing there, absolutely nothing there. Do you buy that? Do you agree with that? In your personal field, I know you're an attorney, but from what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've been able to examine, is there nothing there?
I think this is one of those pictures where you look at it one way and you see one picture, and you look at it another way and you see a different picture. There's a legitimate argument that there's nothing there. It's a big, whopping, juicy nothing burger. And that could be persuasive to the state senators. It absolutely could. But on the flip side, there's also a legitimate argument that Rusty's making that, Ken Paxton has, done some questionable stuff. If
you were a judge, though, Eric, let's make you judge. Let's make you the lieutenant governor who's sitting in charge of this case right now. How would you go? How would you
So the problem I'd
sway
have
right now?
Yeah, where I'd sway is I'd remember it's a beyond a reasonable doubt standard, and if you could see it more than one way, then you're going to have to say not guilty because it's such a high standard. I think if it was a lower standard, I think there's more of a chance.
But Eric's talking about the Article 3. We were talking about this before the show. The Article 3 sort of mentality of these lifetime appointments, Senate confirmed, you can't get rid of it. We run in a partisan state. So our state district judges, much like the lieutenant governor, are going to have to weigh that political ramification and say, if I consider this evidence and I go this way, am I going to risk alienating a very closely affiliated Trump ally? Many of these campaigns for fundraising are aligned. You see one for Trump raising legal funds. You see one for Paxton. Very similar. Send a buck.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. It'll be interesting to continue to watch. We'll see if we need to call you back tomorrow. Be on standby.